because I want to surprise you.
Is friggin' awesome.
Jerry Fassbender is great. What did I say? Mary Fassbender?
You said Lassiter. You're like Lassiter. And I'm like, Lassiter?
Do I sound okay? I hope
you know what I just realized pissed Lucy off here. There we go. Because you're supposed to be down there. You get the whole floor to yourself.
Yeah, there's a bottom joke in there somewhere.
Let's
bottoms.
Whoa, let's not work it in, actually. If you're
Whoa, that was a good one. Whoa.
I liked it.
You know what I mean?
I got it. I was right there with you.
I was not.
Hey, let's talk horror movies instead.
Yeah. Horror movies that are fantastical, not the current situation.
Hey everybody, it's Aaron Christensen with Horror 101 with Dr. AC, and this is Streaming and Screaming, where we talk about horror movies that are streaming online right now. And my hosts are Chad the Bird.
Sup?
And Lucy Ball.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going? How are your friends?
And we have another theme. I'm so excited.
Get right out of town.
Yeah, man, I'm a sucker for theme. You give me a theme party, I'm fully like buckling in. You know what I mean?
I will always have an accoutrement that is on theme. Tonight I'm wearing my blood glasses.
Your blood
glasses
probably
fall off.
Super friggin' cool. I don't remember how we came to this theme.
I do remember, like,
okay, good.
Wholeheartedly. We were chatting after the last one, and Chad was like, "I watched El Conde, and that shit was awesome."
Yeah.
And then we were like, what if we did vampires? And then I started screaming about Ganja and Hess.
Yep.
And, you know, here we are.
Well, here's our roster of wacky, artsy vampire movies that we're going to be chatting about. Talking about El Conde from 2023.
Yeah.
The Vourdalak from 2023.
Hell yeah.
Habit from 1995, celebrating its
depressing
30th anniversary.
Very depressing.
And Ganja Hess from 1973.
Ganja and Hess in this economy?
This one will make all of your friends think you're really smart.
Really cool.
I think all of these movies will make your friends think you're smart.
And we will be talking
for all
suck.
of these movies. So what'd you just say?
I said these movies suck because they're vampire movies.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pause for that. It was terrible.
You know what? It was worth pausing for because I didn't hear it. And if I didn't hear it, it's possible others might not have heard it.
Vampire.
Wow, he's so considerate. Wow.
What do you think?
Bloody good movies.
I don't even know what order we should do these in. I feel like Ganja and Hess, being the elder states vampire, should perhaps go first. I don't know. I feel like
vampire.
All of these, ooh, nice. That was good.
Okay, home movies. We get it. We get it.
See, I told you I'd drop them. Damn.
Let's talk Ganja and Hess, 1973.
Yeah.
Lucy, this was your pick. When was the last time you saw this one prior to this?
I'm not going to bullshit you. I'd never seen it all the way through.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. So I had, I watched that horror noir documentary on Shudder with like Tananarive and all those folks. And
big recommend on that one.
Yeah, it's a great doc. So many awesome films get talked about in there that I had no idea about. Ganja and Hess being one of those.
Yep.
And they talked about Ganja and Hess when they were in the like sort of blaxploitation era, you know, and all 70s. That stuff. Yeah, 70s. Which that will come into play in a moment. But I remember hearing about it there and thinking it sounded really cool. And I just never really like got around to it for whatever reason, because I have to watch a lot of movies. And
you're busy. You're a busy dude. Yeah, you've got a lot to do, and that movie takes a lot of time. You can't just have it on the background. There's not a lot of dialogue in it. There's a lot of weird sounds and like slurpees
and you really
musical pauses.
It's one of those movies you've really got to like actively watch. You got to engage with this movie. You know. And if that's not your thing, whatever, I guess.
What are you doing on this podcast or whatever?
Yeah. If you're watching this, you're a movie engager, I think.
Yeah, you're already in the club. I turned my head once during Ganja and Hess and then came back and was like, who the fuck is that guy? So, you can't turn around.
As we get into the movie, I do have something I have to admit to. But yeah, that was sort of how I found out about it. And when vampires came into the conversation, I was like, wow, great excuse to like have to watch this movie, because if I don't have to watch it, I'm probably not going to watch it, you know?
I think that's great. Chad, had you seen this one before?
Yeah, a long time ago at the Music Box, I believe. They did a retrospective, and I saw it.
Oh, because it's screened at the Music Box as part of their Music Box of Horrors one year, which is their 24-hour marathon. They screened it. This is like now infamous. They screened it at like 4 a.m. and you can't watch this fucking movie at 4 a.m. after having sat through 9 other movies. It was just like, and Will, the programmer at Music Box, like he consistently brings it up as like his one great failing as a programmer was putting Ganja Hess on
to put a
at
long
4 a.m.
watch like that in a
long,
Robert Rodriguez set.
Everybody's just like falling asleep. So
that's a dusk till dawn moment.
I don't think I could get through that movie at 4 a.m. without like chemical assistance. That's a tall ask.
Now,
I was ripped at 4 p.m. when I watched it.
I do love this movie. I've seen it probably like 3 or 4 times now. It is one, as you said, Lucy, it does require an investment, and boy, does it pay off if you invest in it. If you're willing to actually engage with the movie, oh man, like it just takes you places. You're like, I don't know where we're going here. It's unlike any vampire movie I've ever seen. It's got Dwayne Jones from Night of the Living Dead in it with it rocking an awesome beard.
Isn't that his only
I
other
almost
lead
didn't
role?
recognize him. With
I
still
don't recognize him. Like I don't see Ben from Night of the Living Dead.
I was literally like, I
Dr.
know I've seen you somewhere. And then when I looked up the cast and credits, I was like, yes, of course. That's where
he's got those sunglasses on and he's just sitting in that like white wicker chair, just drinking. I was just like, damn, I'd be all about this vampire life.
And can I jump? I mean, we'll talk about the movie, but I got to jump to the end really quick. Dude is hanging dong.
Hanging.
Oh yeah.
Super.
He's gonna hurt somebody with that thing, man.
Well, he's hurting himself running. Jeez.
Yeah, he's gonna get bruises all over his knees, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's nudity.
I worry about bug bites and like chiggers and like mosquitoes and like prickly fucking plants that he's running over. Having a cloaca, I don't have any connection to this, but I can assume, Doc, you can attest to it. You don't want to hang dong in the middle of the wilderness and run at the same time.
No,
I like
it. Sounds kind of fun
Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I like
it was the 70s after all.
All I'm saying is if dude gets a little too excited, do you think he passes out?
Well, yes, I bet he gets really woozy.
He's only allowed to rock it for about 20 minutes at a time.
Man, filming some of those scenes must have been really difficult.
I
chose not to say hard on purpose.
Nice, excellent, challenging. Did you notice like who he was jumping over the freeze frame?
No, okay, I didn't catch that. As it happened, I was like, "This seems important," but I couldn't put a name to the.
It wasn't another person; it was just his dong. Like it was just that big.
So that freeze frame sees Ganja's resurrected new lover racing toward her and the camera, and the freeze frame is him jumping over a body that we see on the ground. I think the assumption is that is Dr. Hess's assistant.
Yeah.
And so I think we can, read in some metaphor of like the new blood conquering the old money, and that there's a new kid in town, and her name is Ganja.
Ganja.
Now, quick synopsis on this one is that Dr. Hess, he studies African and native cultures. He's rich, which is really nice for a black man to be able to be represented in that way.
Not to mention that, but an anthropologist in the 70s? I was like, what in the Indiana Jones? Holy shit.
Writer-director Bill Gunn, he didn't want to do a vampire movie, but this was the movie that he could make. And so he said, great, I will sneak all of my stuff into this vampire movie. Because, as you said, this was during the blaxploitation wave. And so this was the same year that Blackenstein came out, if that gives you a time frame.
Yeah, if I remember.
When was Blackula, though?
Well, Blackula was 72.
That's what I was going to bring up, is the thing I read about it was basically he was like doing cool art films or whatever. And the studio who like funded Ganja and Hess approached him and said, we want you to do a blaxploitation vampire movie like Blackula, you know? And he was like, Oh, okay, whatever. And he wrote this wonderful art house exploration of addiction and religion.
Yeah.
And then they butchered it and cut it down to like 70 minutes when it's like 2 hours long.
Yep.
That's, as I watched the movie, like, sure, there's lots of artsy fartsy, like slow moving scenes where, like, quote unquote, not a lot happens, I guess. But I was having a hard time finding what you could cut out of this film and still get the idea across. Right. And I guess the answer is none, because MoMA released the whole cut.
Yeah, the vibe is super good on this. It was released as Blood Couple, that butchered 70-minute version. Because it's almost 2 hours long. But again, I think that's just it. Like, it is all about that vibe, and you have to sit in it. You have to sit in it and ride the whole ride. Now, as I was saying, he's an anthropologist. He gets stabbed by an ancient dagger, and that turns him into a blood drinker, but not a vampire with fangs. He's just a blood drinker and somebody who is supposedly immortal. His assistant comes along, who is Dr. Hida? Is that right? Meta. Dr. Meta.
I can't remember, honestly.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember the name of half of the people that worked on half of these movies about 20 minutes ago before we started. So Dr. Don't come asking me.
Dr. Meta is his assistant, and he tries to first kill him, and then he ends up killing himself. And his wife, Ganja Meta, is the one who shows up going, "Where's my husband?"
She's got some of the best lines in the movie.
Oh, man, she is
I want
sassy.
an extension cord for my record player.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you know what an extension cord is?
You know what an extension cord is. You know you're going to get the grape jelly for the grits, right? You're going to go back in and get the grits, right?
Which,
I was like, I could listen to this all day.
I've eaten many, many grits in my day.
I'm eating grits right now.
Who the hell puts grape jelly on grits?
Not me, but now I want to try it.
Ganja Meta, that's who.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, she was. I found her unpleasant in her forthrightness, but she definitely knows what she wants.
And she was gorgeous.
Oh,
whoa!
Everybody in this movie is so pretty and so sweaty. Everyone in this movie is so sweaty. Oh, this movie reeks.
Yeah, when the meta guy or whatever his face was, when he's like.
That's writer-director Bill Gunn, by the way.
That's the guy.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I saw that in the credits. I was like, is that the same guy?
Same guy.
But where he's like, why does he talk like George Carlin? Did anyone else notice that?
Because he can.
I couldn't stop.
Yeah, the director wouldn't stop him.
Yeah.
This was a character choice.
He's one of those impossible to direct actors, But
the amount of times he stopped in the middle of speaking and was just like, "I've never had this much food in my life."
Or say something completely normal and not have to think about it all. You dig what I'm saying?
I feel like you dig what you're saying, Bill. I forgot what it was you were talking about because I can't get over how sweaty everyone is. This movie is damp hot.
Oh, yeah.
And it's hot as well.
Yeah. Everything looks like it smelled like beans and sweat. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in this world.
I don't like that. I don't like that you just said those words in that order.
But it looks like it. It's like everybody in this room is eating massive amounts of vegetable proteins, and it smells bad. That's not why I liked it, though.
I was going to say, tell us why you did like it.
So what did you enjoy about it?
I enjoyed how immersive this movie was. It was in a place I didn't want to be. Everything looked so moist, and I was nervous about it. It's got that great thing that 70s movies do where you can slink into an art house theater and just absorb what's happening around you. Because everything's happening at once. All the sounds are going on. Every little thing has a key.
Sound design is incredible.
Yeah, many things are creaking, slurping, dinging. There's these, and the music cues are super disturbing and stick with you.
Yeah, that chant that happens every time something vampiric is about to go down.
Every time the vampire inside of him comes out.
That was cool. I also I really appreciated the blues spiritual rendition of the origin of vampires towards the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
It was under the shadow of the cross, but before the Christians came, they walked the earth.
There's a scene in this movie where the director is taking a bath and also brushing his teeth.
In the bathwater.
In the bathtub. And I thought that was the most horrifying part of it.
That was so disgusting. I can't. Oh, no, man.
I was like, I don't.
and
have a
how
lot
many
to
takes,
say about
how many shots of him spitting the bathwater back.
I just want to believe that they were
was-
just like, we're gonna do this in one take because that director's like, no man, I'm gonna keep this going.
That's why he ended up playing that role, is because nobody else was doing it.
Nobody else would
I'm
brush
not
their
brushing
teeth
my
in their
teeth in
own
my
stink
bathwater.
water.
Are you
Gross.
crazy?
What it says in
What
the
else
script.
been in there?
They also have a lot of, like, I get that they're vampires, and I get that they're drinking red liquids, and it's obviously like some kind of V8 juice or something. At least I hope it is, because it does look a little bit like paint. But there's a scene where Ganja and Hess are having, like, breakfast. They're having croissant. And they have these little glasses on their table, and it looks like they're filled with limeade. And I was like, ugh. And I just kept thinking, that's not a morning drink. That's not what you drink in the morning. Limeade is an afternoon drink.
Look at me. I'm Chad the Bird with my specific drinks for specific times. Shut up.
Well, I do say that a lot.
Yeah, I've heard it in person. It's crazy.
I want to call out one other behind the scenes person. That's Victor Konevsky, who's our editor, because I was looking at, and he's the one who kind of saved this film when Momo wanted to store it or whatever. He got in there and put it all back together again. But he is the editor behind such horror classics as Blood-Sucking Freaks.
What?
And Bloodbath.
Whoa,
no
that's
way.
awesome.
He's also the father of Rolf Konevsky, who is the director of There's Nothing Out There, Nightmare Man, and the exquisitely named Jacqueline Hyde.
Whoa! I've seen Jacqueline Hyde, or at least I've seen it in like VHS.
You've seen it in the video store.
Yeah,
It's a great drag
the
name.
film.
I gotta say that.
Yeah. All my drag friends, Jacqueline Hyde, I believe, is available. So
Yeah. So snap it up quick.
Snap it up quick.
Lucy, what were some of your big takeaways from this one?
Big takeaways. We talked about the sort of paint blood thing. I love that in these 70s movies when blood is just the most ridiculously saturated red it could possibly be.
Clearly, that was never running through anybody's veins.
Yeah, it doesn't look like blood at all, but it looks so awesome on the film grain. And like,
especially when it's caught up in dude's beard. I was just like, oh, and please go take a bath in the shit water that you were in a little while ago.
No, and
God,
when he's
go back to the bath. Go.
When they're drinking it, it does look like they just decided to color milk red because they're like, okay, we need something kind of thick and viscous. I don't want to make you drink Cairo because that's really disgusting, and I assume you like having teeth. So let's just color some milk red. So I like that. I thought that was very cool. Oh, I've got a lot of stuff. The church scenes were really interesting. They put a lot of like real love on that preacher guy and the way it all sort of wove together.
I want to believe that was a real priest or a preacher.
Dude,
I want to believe that was very real.
If he's not, there's preachers in his family because he knows how to like speak in the preacher cadence in a very natural way.
And he just stops preaching to dance for a while and
hell
then goes back
yeah.
to preaching.
And hell yeah, it's kind of funny talking about preaching. But let's see. What were some of the other things? Let's see. Dude's dong was ridiculous.
We had dongs, brush your teeth in the bathtub.
When I was watching it, so Ganja goes down, spoiler for a 50-year-old movie or whatever. But when Ganja goes down into the basement after being like thoroughly warned by Alfred to not go down into the basement, and she finds her husband like all wrapped up in the freezer, she freaks all the way out. And then when Hess comes home, she confronts him and she's very mad, as one might be.
Yep.
And then the next scene, they're banging. Like she doesn't care at all anymore.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't watch this movie while you're doing other shit. Because like I turned around and I came back, I was like, oh, we're cool? Everything's cool now?
I
miss?
rewound this 3 times. And they don't breach why she's suddenly cool with it. They just don't.
Yeah.
She's just
you know what? You know what? Well, it's all out now.
He's so unbothered by it. He's just like, yep. What do you want to do?
What do you want to do about it?
And he's so good looking. I might have to look past something.
He really is, especially in his like 60s like fucking Scrooge pajama pants that he's wearing half the movie. I was like, these are some classic old man pants. And
I like that he just met her and he's sitting there with his fancy pants and no shirt. Like that's how they're just like having a chill time. Things were different in the 70s.
That's how I welcome people into my home. I feel like it establishes.
I'll be right over.
Yeah. Hey, come on by anytime.
In fact, Scrooge does wear a dressing gown, so I should probably stop calling them Scrooge pants. I have to come up with a better metaphor.
Oh yeah, he's got the whole like flowy.
He does. He has
shirt
like a dressing
situation
gown with a
going
thing.
on.
I don't know why I associate that with Scrooge from A Christmas Carol.
But it makes sense.
We all knew what you meant.
But you knew what
exactly.
I meant, right?
I'm following
Okay.
you. Yeah, it's like
so I
have
Ganja Hess, great Christmas film.
I have a theory I want to float by you. So
we all float on your podcast.
Do we think Hess is turned into the vampire version of himself after Meta stabs him? Or do we think that he was already a blood drinker when he meets Meta for the first time?
I think he was already a blood drinker because when Preacher Man is like doing his monologue at the very beginning,
that's right.
Which it's crazy that this movie goes an hour before the actual plot starts.
Before any of that shit starts, yeah.
But so at the very beginning, Preacher Man is like sort of explaining how this all is going to go. Yep. And he's like, yeah, my boss, Dr. Hess, he's an addict, you know?
Yep.
And
it's given circumstances, right?
Yeah.
Now, what did you think, Chad? Did you think that
I thought the dagger did something because like there's so much chanting happens when it happens, and there's so much going on when it goes down, just because it was such a key moment. But I wonder if maybe it activated something latent.
Well, every time I have seen this before, that's what I thought. I thought that was the inciting incident that turned him into the blood drinker that he becomes.
I think we're meant to feel that way.
However, it's given circumstance. We have an opening crawl at the beginning that says everything that that Lucy just said. And we have the narration that also reiterates that he's a blood drinker. He's addicted to blood.
Yeah, because didn't it all say that he got like stabbed X hundred years ago?
That's what I'm saying. And so I feel like what we see when we see the dagger stab him is him just, we become aware that he cannot be killed. Like he has been stabbed, he can't be killed, and then Meta kills himself, and then we see him succumb to the bloodlust.
Yeah, that's what I took out of it. Like I thought maybe like, okay, so I was under the impression that he's vamping from the get-go. That was where I was at.
Definitely, like now that you say that, I can see that being the case. They like set him up to be like super refined. And like,
and like,
well, how is he? Yeah, how has he accumulated all this wealth? It's because vampires live a long time and they get to collect things and become rich.
Yeah, so I took it as him being a vampire for forever, and maybe he, tries to fight the urge as much as he can or something. But once that dagger comes in, all bets are off, and it's like, okay, you want to see Mr. Nice Guy go away? Then here we go.
He did know what to do immediately after he was quote unquote turned by the dagger then.
Right.
Because,
and he didn't have any like
immediately.
We'll get to talk about this with some of the other films, but he like wasn't initially repulsed by drinking blood either.
Yeah, he
like
went right in.
He was like, okay, cool. You know.
Get some of that in my beard, wash my face in the toothbrush water, rock and roll.
I don't know why toothbrush water is worse than butt water, but I hate it.
It's the singularly most horrifying moment in that movie.
And I have not read Chris Sieving's book, Pleading the Blood, which is about Ganja Hess. But William Novotny Lawrence, who was one of the people who was the co-editors on the Oxford Encyclopedia of Black Horror, he and I were texting because I was like, what do you think of this theory? And he's like, you should read Chris Sieving's book. And I'm like, well, I can't yet, but I was looking forward to that. So I thought I just threw a little name drop.
Sounds like you blew the door wide open on
Shout
this
it
one.
out.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that book like as soon as we're out of this fucking thing.
Somehow makes a classic even better. I mean, like you can't go wrong with this. Like this is where a lot of this comes from. Like a lot.
Just
of
don't watch it at 4 a.m.
Don't watch anything at 4 a.m. that doesn't. It's only a half an hour and is like fast. Like
you can watch the Italian stuff at 4 a.m.
Oh yeah, I love a good bava at 4 a.m. You know,
4 a.m. bava and coke. Please sign me up.
Let's shift ahead to our next movie. Let's go chronologically as we have been, and let's talk about Habit from 1995. It is written, directed, edited, and starring Larry Fessenden, who's a personal hero of mine.
Good old
what'd you call
Fassenstein.
It was Fassenden or Lassenden?
I called him Larry Fastener.
Larry Lassenden.
Because you had the L in the beginning.
I was very confused.
Anyway, yes, I saw this movie on video. good old nationwide video down on Belmont Street in Chicago back in the day.
Nationwide is on
they had a great cult section, and it was just one that I picked up randomly, and I just fell in love with it from the jump. I profiled it in our book Hidden Horror.
Yep.
So you can check out my essay there, but I knew I was introducing it to you two. I hope you liked it. What'd you think?
Man, I loved it. Honestly, cult movie section is the perfect place for this movie. Honestly, I did really love it. The like very 90s shaky hand cam thing was badass. I've already forgotten how to say the name, so don't press me. But Sam
Fassbender.
Yeah, Sam's acting was like out of this world.
Yeah, he's like legit. There's a reason why he's in so many movies.
Yeah, and
Larry's all around, man.
He's totally the best actor in the film.
Agreed.
What?
Yeah,
you mean he didn't talk directly into the microphone, mute all of his performances, and just stare blankly at people? What?
Don't get me started
90s?
on that. Don't get me started on that Nick guy. Okay, that's
This is all. This is all of his acting. Ready? This is everybody else in the movie besides Larry Fassbender.
Now, I like Meredith Snyder as
she's great because of the situation
she was
that
awesome,
she's in. But like everybody else, I was like, come on, man, throw a pie, do something.
And I thought the ex-girlfriend character, she did well. She played good. It's basically Nick was like a really sore point.
Yeah, I agree.
I think an odd choice.
Aaron Beale is probably the weakest link here as Nick. But yeah, I agree that Larry Fessenden, like, the thing I love about this movie is it just feels like it is 100% Larry Fessenden. Like, he is running through the film at 24 frames per second.
He has such a crazy look and a crazy vibe, and he uses it so well. Compelling, hypnotic. Hell yeah, man. Everything. Put him in more movies. Oh, wait, they did.
Well, and he went
in like 50 movies. He was in 127 movies. I looked it up.
Yep. He started his own production company, Glass Eye Picks, and he was one of the folks who gave like Ty West his first films. I mean, he's been such a huge boon for so many independent filmmakers. He's like a little mini Corman factory out there in New York. God bless you, Larry.
Yeah. So, Larry, fun fact. Here's my big reveal because we talked about it in the green room earlier. Audience watching. So he is behind the Until Dawn video game and subsequent movie and also board game series. So he is the creator of Until Dawn, which is crazy.
Which is awesome.
And the writer of Until Dawn.
And very good for you, Mr. Larry, because those Until Dawn games are hot sellers, I tell you.
He's also been in movies like Killers of the Flower Moon. He's also in Maxine. He's also in what's that movie? I was just talking about this. Damn it, I was all excited. He was in Gray Matter, which is like a like close to the Chicago world movie.
You know who else is in Gray Matter?
Yeah, who else is in Gray Matter? AC, that guy.
That
guy. So I was waiting for you to bring it up. Yeah. I know so many people in that movie.
Larry Fessenden and I were in a movie, but we never actually were in the same scene. So they shot all his stuff in New York. They shot our stuff in Chicago. But yes, I love Larry. I've interviewed him on multiple occasions. He was actually recently.
So many questions.
He was on our Bride of Frankenstein and Werewolf of London panel recently because he's just such a cool guy. But yes, this was the movie in which I fell in love with Larry Fessenden because I love that it is metaphorical. I love that it's down and dirty, made for $60,000. He's actually hanging himself out of his own sixth floor window.
That was all real. I looked it up.
That's a shoestring budget. That's crazy.
Literally made from shoestrings.
Yep. Shot on 16 millimeter.
But that's not my big reveal.
Oh, wait, there's more?
There's more. So not only was he in Jugface, which is a movie I saw not
also
too long
great.
ago,
All great.
He was in a movie I recently talked about on this very YouTube.
Okay.
Because he was the old man in Good Boy.
Oh, no way.
Yup.
That tracks.
The old man in the videos, right?
Yup.
Wow.
I freaked out. I was like, I know that face. And then I Googled it. I was like, boom.
Well,
I also saw him in a bunch of
You also know that voice because he was the voice of the DJ in
DJ.
Southbound when we talked about
anthology.
Together.
Larry Fessenden is everywhere you look, and it's a good thing.
Larry,
Love
come
a
over.
working actor.
And he's also in The Dead Don't Die. I forgot about that. Damn.
That's right.
Get him over. Get him on the phone. He was in Broken Flowers. Come on, get the guy. And he's in all of those movies by the guy whose name I'll never remember, who was in Late Phases and Stake Land.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jim Mickle.
Yeah, he was in all of his movies.
Yep.
Oh, I love Johnny Nichols movies. Yeah.
Get him on the phone. Get Jerry Fassbender on the phone.
So we've waxed on and waxed off of Larry Fessenden. What did you guys think about the movie?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was like visually arresting. I thought this one and Ganja Hess are those kind of like art house movies that I'll wander in, like they're just doing like a film festival, and I'll just like sit down and like take it in. I didn't know it was the 90s. It was so weird because I was like, this is very 80s. Like there's something about the vibe of this movie that felt like a Cassavetes movie. But or like something like that, where it's just kind of like slow pans and lots of like weird angles and that kind of stuff. But it looked like it was in the 80s. Then I found it was 95, and it was like this little time capsule of New York. I'm assuming it was New York at the time. There's just so much to love about it, and I did like how subtle it was. The sex scenes were intense.
Awkward.
Very awkward. There were several sex scenes where I was like, should I leave you guys alone?
I'm not even going to say that. You know, Mr. Larry, I love you. You're fantastic. You got no motion, buddy. You got no motion.
They were just like sloppy, and I'm
no,
like,
come on down to the house. I'll teach you a thing or two. But no motion whatsoever, dude.
There was a technique that was missing at the time, but they were drunk, so I guess it makes sense.
When he was getting
it was a little scrambly fall downy, but
when he was getting that old fashioned out in the park, that was crazy.
I've never heard it referred to as that.
Yeah, I love it.
Old school New York old fashioned in the Central Park. Good for you, guy. Everybody was having a good time. A little rooftop panky. I'm all into it.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the movie. I thought it was awesome. I'm hung up on whether or not I mean, clearly she's real, right? Because the friends notice her and stuff. Right. But I kept thinking of it as like that, the vampire woman, Anna, that was her name. Yep. I kept thinking of her as like this sort of like heroin metaphor. That's what kept coming to my mind. Because she leads all these.
Habit was very on point for this movie because it did feel like there was an addiction going on.
Yeah, and she leaves those puncture marks on him, and he looks dope sick all the time.
All the time.
I thought that was like a really interesting, artful like thing they did there, where she's very clearly a stand-in for like some kind of horrible intravenous drug addiction, but she's also an existing person. Creature, whatever.
Well, that's just it. She may or may not be a vampire. Like it's very kind of Martin in that regard.
And they played. I was kicking myself for not bringing up Martin when we were going to do vampire movies because I love Martin so much. But Ganja Hess definitely wins over Martin, I think. But Habit was so good. As soon as he comes into a Halloween party dressed like Cyrano de Bergerac, I was like, yeah, this guy's cool as fucking hell. I gotta know this guy.
Everything, again, just like Ganja Hess, everything kind of looked dirty. Everything looked lived in, which I'm assuming is because they had no money and they were just shooting in
New York in the 90s.
New York
and
in
they
the
made
90s.
It on $60,000.
What I thought was interesting about this, though, is that like we normally get the Habit stuff like The Hunger or like vampire movies where the person that we're following is developing the habit. He was a victim, which I thought was really interesting, is that he's the victim of the moment and he's the one we're following because he can't give her up because she's bewitched him with those sweet old fashions in Central Park.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It would get me. Some freaky
there
comes
was so
up
much about that I thought was very hot until the sex scenes, and I was like, all right, guys, I'm gonna have to go for a minute here.
Well, and you mentioned the heroin addiction, and I would say that he's also clearly an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's in the text. That's what's the Stephen King thing. I know authors who use subtext and they're all cowards. So the alcoholism is just stated multiple times, which I wanted to slap that Nick guy in the face. How he's always like,
he's offering him a drink. Yeah.
God forbid, lay off the booze. By the way, we should go get a drink. Like, fucking asshole.
This is a bad friend. They're all bad friends.
What was his girlfriend's name? Ray? I think she had potential to be a good friend if she could let her like own hang-ups about, what could have been or whatever go. And man, the like, will they, won't they lesbian vampire action.
Yep.
That was, whatever. That was, that was like sort of one of the like
hottest
high
parts
points
of the movie.
I wasn't going to say hottest, but I was going to say high points because it illustrates that Anna chick is just sort of like feeding on whatever vulnerable person around. She can get her nasty little fangs into.
I like
which
his
she
line.
Kind of didn't have, which is like that's 2 vampire movies now with no fangs.
No. Well,
did you notice the scene when he thinks he's lost her and she puts her hand on his shoulder and she's got crazy Nosferatu
crazy hands?
claws.
I love that. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This movie does so much with no money.
She does show up with fangs toward the end. But again, we don't know if he's delusional at that point.
I'm cracking up, man. I'm cracking up.
There's
I
a
love
lot
all the
of
stuff about his dad, and his dad is like a really interesting character.
Yes.
He's not just like dad flavored dad where it's like, oh, he's my dad. He's like, no, I want to get to know your dad.
And that's literally Larry Fessenden's dad playing his dad.
Whoa, cool. And I like that they teased.
Larry, your dad looks cool. Like, what a cool dude.
To spoil some more things, I like that they teased that there was a guy who may very well be a Van Helsing type, but Sam just can't be fucking bothered to call him.
Nope. No time.
He's like, man, that vampire pussy too crazy. I can't.
Not when I'm getting hand jobs like this. Don't give a
old
shit.
fashions, please.
Maybe I don't want it to stop. Maybe this is the most interesting thing that's happened.
One of my favorite scenes in the movie involves our Van Helsing character because we see his girlfriend Liza show up into the frame, and then we turn and it's Anna, and you're like, wait, did that just happen? And you see it just on our Van Helsing character's face, where he's just like, did she just turn into somebody else? And I love that she shows up with like clearly this ancient artifact, and everybody's like, ooh, look at that. You're like, how long she been hanging on to that?
Yeah. And what? Maybe
got
that's
that from the source, bro.
Shit. What the hell?
Yeah, I didn't pick up that about the Van Helsing type noticing that it was not the woman he thought it was. When I saw that scene, I was thinking of it as like Sam, our alcoholic, potentially drug addicted protag, like.
You can be addicted to hand jobs, Lucy. It's okay.
No, he's clearly addicted to busting it. That's for sure. But it felt almost like it was this statement about how that type of guy, like, sort of has all these stand-in women who aren't really people, and they're just sort of like there to break the monotony that they, douse with their addictions or whatever. And I thought that's what I took out of that. But now that you mention it, that dude totally notices it. Yeah.
Well,
my favorite's when that dude calls fucking Larry and is just like, hey, well, let's talk a minute about that girl you're seeing. And dude's like,
if you got a minute, if you got a minute.
Well, and
subtle,
Larry has also talked about the fact that like this is very much a look at, how inarticulate and incompetent men are in relationships. Like he's not painting a very flattering portrait of Sam. Like Sam is not a hero by any stretch.
He's not really good at a lot of things.
And they even
he's good at licking plates.
And other things.
He made that hamburger look so fucking good, though. I wanted a burger so bad during that scene. Like, if you've ever been to a 3-day music festival where you've not really been eating, and then you're on the way out on day 3, and like you see the hamburger stand, and
you go by like a cold or something.
God, that hamburger. It really made me want a burger. I'm just kind of hungry.
The movie kind of felt to me like, and I don't know, this is not, a surprise to anyone having done the amount of psychedelics that you humans have created. This movie felt to me like a shroom trip, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, fun, but also very painful.
Very painful. And it made you very hungry towards the end. And then you meet people that you forgot you met, and they weren't the people you thought they were, and that one person you met at the music festival is still in your apartment, and you forgot they were there, and then you turn around and you're like, And they're like, I just went out and got a soup. And you're like, oh, you kind of want some soup right now. That scene where he's on when he goes back to the apartment, he's trying to call for help, and she's right behind him. Is actually
that
freaked me out.
The last 20 minutes of this movie stressed me out like very few other films. Like when he goes into ex-girl Liza's apartment and he's like touching everything and he's got a fucking knife in his hand. I'm like, no, dude, come on. What are you fucking thinking?
Not gonna go well.
Well, and then when he gets back to his own apartment and she just keeps breaking through every boundary he puts up, and the final shot just destroys me. You know,
it's dark.
Did you guys notice Ray is screaming because Sam is on the ground with all of his precious fluid everywhere, and you see Anna for a moment, and then as it pans back, you only see Sam, and then there's totally not the Demeter sailing out of the harbor, you know.
When that shift, happens where you see the two of them lying down and then you see just him, and you're like, oh no, was it all just a dream? She cast some mystical spell. Was she ever there? I love that. It's just like, it is the
Normally
beautiful
I don't go for
90s
ambiguity in vampire movies. This seemed to work really well, just based on how they set it up.
Weakling. I love ambiguity.
Oh, come on. You can end a movie. End your movie.
No.
He did end his movie. He ended his movie. I mean, there's no more movie left.
This one worked. I have notes about it. But I'll tell you sometime.
Well, anything else you want to say about Habit other than how awesome it is?
If you've not seen it, go watch it.
Go watch it.
It's
so
streaming
good.
right now.
Yeah.
You can go check it out.
It's on Shudder and AMC
Where did I watch
Plus.
It was on Shudder that I watched.
Yeah, I rented it on the Apple TV. Thanks, Steve Jobs.
Nice. I love the Ralph Steadman title art. Like, that got me right in the mood.
Oh, yeah.
It felt
totally.
like I was like,
That
this is going to be a
poster
drug
art's
trip. This is kind of dope. Like, store-bought Mickey Rourke kind of vibe. But, like, I liked it better. It wasn't artisanal Mickey York.
I was thinking, he made me think of Jack Nicholson.
He
did. I thought he was doing one.
He gets that a lot. And when he does his Jack Nicholson impression, it's really funny.
Oh, man. I bet he has a really good one.
He definitely does it in the movie.
And we haven't even talked about his missing tooth.
Yeah, well, I mean,
why? That's his
I
whole
can't
vibe.
talk much. I only got one.
You're doing
We
I don't
could
have
get
any
together and
teeth.
make a whole set of teeth.
You know what? Now I'm thinking back to a previous episode where I actually referenced you looking like Larry Fessenden. And
I didn't know who he was at the time.
Didn't know who he was. Well, you're like an inverse Larry Fessenden. You only have
I'm
one
Bizarro Larry. I'm Farry Lessenden. Yeah.
You're Mary Fassbender. I have
No,
no
that's
teeth,
me.
so I can't relate it at all.
Anyway.
But I do like that Shudder has it on their Lovesick collection. I think that's very funny, very cute.
Definitely got that vibe, man. If you want to go into that, like, I want to watch somebody just get deteriorated by a relationship, this is the movie.
Yeah, if you've been listening to a lot of brand new lately, throw this on.
Oh, the music is great. I love Tom Lather. Like that final song, Mystery, just destroys
Usually
me.
that kind of sad sap shit drives me crazy, but it really works.
Lots of great, like, that was the thing I meant to say. I love how, like, 90s New York bohemian this was. And the music is super reflective of that. It's all that coffee shop, like,
it feels like you're going to go to a party, you're going to get drunk, you're going to wake
and it's
up
all
on
Larry's
else's
friends,
couch.
Like Larry's like, hey, I got a bunch of friends who are in bands.
They're all in the movie yelling at the sound guy, which was the most relatable part of the film.
When he turns, he's like, "Can I get some more acoustic?"
My favorite moment in the movie, and then I'll stop talking about my favorite because I really like this movie, is when he and his buddy, who we don't really like all that much, they're trying to find a bar, and the camera's right on the two of them, and he's like, we should go over here to the Holiday, and dude runs the opposite direction, and the camera just follows him, and then 5 seconds later, Larry's like, shit. I love it.
Oh, my last one.
Been there.
I liked in the big confrontation between Nick and Sam towards the end of the film, when like Nick hits him with "you really should have stayed in the arts" or whatever, and then he talks about how his mom left him a bunch of money, which that doesn't get talked about until the very end of the film.
Very end of the film.
That's how you afford to live this way.
Nice apartment, Beau.
And then and when he hits him with that very Cyrano de Bergerac, "you reveal yourself, Nick."
Well, and I should mention that he made this film back in the 80s as a short, like a student film when he was at NYU, I think. And that confrontation scene is kind of pivotal to the original version. And he just decided, I want to revisit this and build it back out. And he's talked about revisiting it again. And I know he's doing like a big kind of monster rally movie because he's done a Frankenstein movie with Depraved. He's done a werewolf movie with Blackout. And now he's done a vampire movie. Well, he did his vampire movie with Habit. So he's putting all of them together in a old school Universal Monster Rally type of movie that's going to be coming out soon. I forget the name, but if you look at IMDb, you'll find it right now.
Larry, come on the Birdcast.
This guy must play a lot of World of Darkness. You got the Prometheans, you got the Vampire the Masquerade, you got Werewolf the Forsaken.
I mean, he created Until Dark, and that doesn't shock me at all, knowing all this about him.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's why I was super keen to have him on
again because that's my favorite fact.
To chat about those classics, and he was kind enough to come on and talk about Bride of Frankenstein and Werewolf of London. So, thank you, Larry, for that. Now, speaking of new, let's talk about the Vourdalak.
La Vourdalak!
Because this was a recommendation that you threw our way, Chad.
Yes, indeedy. Oh my goodness, the Vourdalak! What a decadent little movie. What a strange little experience.
So many powdered wigs and
so many wigs,
powder.
so much foppish behavior in the woods. So many strange like traveling humans like hanging out in like the peasantry. Hell yeah, give me some noblemen.
How'd you come to watch this one?
So when I was doing my I think this was last year, right? Vourdalak came out in 24, didn't it?
Yep.
Or did it come out?
Yeah, I think it was made in 23. It got released 24.
In 24. So when I was looking up my movies to watch for 2024, follow me on Letterboxd. I saw this was a reco where someone was like, "Hey, you want to watch a new one that's really good? Check out the Vourdalak." And I never got around to it. And when you were mentioning vampire movies, I was like, oh, here is my excuse after watching my 2025 movies to watch the Vourdalak because it was supposed to be on my list this year. And that's why. Because someone was just like, hey, you want to watch a weird movie? And I was like, I always want to watch a weird movie. And there's just something special about it. This reminds me of like, okay, so back in the day, from what the humans tell me, there was when Jim Henson had the Storyteller Hour on TV, because he used to do, there was a show called the Jim Henson Hour, and it was half an hour Muppet stuff, and then the half hour after that was like, I'm gonna be weird and creepy Dark Crystal shit. And he made a bunch of them. There was one called The Soldier in Death, which I've seen, which is very cool if you haven't watched it. Stupendous. And he made a bunch of these like really fanciful fairy tale, like grim fairy tale puppetry experiences. That's what the Vourdalak reminded me of. Like, it looks stylized, and of course they're using puppets in it. That's like definitely the connection.
No one prepared me for the puppets.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you. Didn't want to tell you about it, but it's so good and so freaky.
He didn't even tell me about it, and we're supposed to be like,
we're besties.
Kindred in that way.
No, but like, here's the deal. I wanted you to experience it like I did.
Oh man, I went in cold, and I was like, "That's a puppet."
So
we have a puppet vampire. What the hell?
So good. It felt like I was
freaky
watching
puppet vampire. He was so creepy looking.
So creepy. The whole movie looked like I was watching a play, and that's what I really liked.
Yeah, totally.
And it's a fairy tale. Like, it's a straight up easy to digest fairy tale.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of like Red Riding Hood with like a foppish marquis who's lost in the woods, and he meets a bunch of like foreign peasant folk that he doesn't quite understand, but he doesn't give a shit because he thinks he's entitled to everything.
And man, thank God they speak French. Love an empire.
Love an empire. Oh, I was so much. It's like he's like in it with them, and he doesn't understand their ways. And he ends up kind of having a hero arc, which I love. And then it kind of all just goes the way of the vampire. Like, they all just kind of get it in the end, but it's worth it.
And boy, does he get it. We'll talk about it.
Does he get it. That scene? It's like, that's the shit that I love. When it's like, sexy stuff is happening. Oh, damn.
It's bad.
Messed up.
It's bad.
Messed up.
Yep.
So good.
This is a French film from writer-director Adrien Beau, which is a cool name.
Not Barbeau, but
like Beau, like a studding cow Beau.
Like he's afraid.
Beaux.
Like he who is afraid. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I knew this story, so this is based on a short story by Alexei Tolstoy. not Leo Tolstoy.
Not the Tolstoy, but connected.
Yeah.
He's his cousin or something, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, I had seen this story told because there is a story, the Vourdalak, in Mario Bava's anthology film Black Sabbath. That's the one that Boris Karloff hosts.
Yeah.
And it's the only movie in which Boris Karloff appears as a vampire. And Karloff is the Vourdalak in Black Sabbath.
I've only seen that one short from Black Sabbath. Is Black Sabbath the one that has the one about the drip?
The drop of water, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's the only short I've seen out of that. I need to watch that whole
need to watch that whole.
It looks so cool.
All three of them are great stories. But yes, so that I was familiar with the story, but watching it kind of be fleshed out in this way and done in a way that's not, Mario Bava, because a Bava film is very much a Bava film.
It's its own thing. Yeah.
So to watch this, and again, the puppets just completely puppet. There's one puppet, and it is an amazing puppet, and I feel like it continues to evolve. So I guess it is puppets. There's plural, right? We get different versions of it.
It's one character built of many different fabricated beings.
Thank you. Much better said. But what'd you
get more PC with it, Doc? Come on.
What'd you think of this one?
Puppet correct.
Lucy, what'd you think of this one?
I friggin' loved it. I greatly enjoyed all of these. I had very little notes about any of them. The fairy tale comparison is the best thing I could think to say about it. It totally has that kind of feel of man, if I saw this any younger, if I saw this before my frontal lobe had fully developed, I would be terrified.
Cool. You got one of those? That sounds dope.
Yeah, I've been working on it. My brain crazy. Yeah, thanks for the two Zoomers in chat who know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really liked it. The foppish guy, I wanted to smack him about the face and neck.
Love him. He's my favorite person ever.
You say his name was Jaqueef?
I called him. His name is Jacques, but I called him Jaquees because I thought it was funny.
I like that. That's a good drag king name.
Jaqueef. Hell yes.
and he lip
all you drag performers, you're welcome, everyone.
He lip syncs to a bunch of Ja Rule songs, but in French. But anyway, he was annoying in the way he needed to be. All of the provincial food looked disgusting.
Mush and goo. Most of it was mush and goo.
It's not even goulash. It's just goo.
Dude, that whole scene where she's gutting a chicken, I was like, that's actually legitimately horrifying.
A thing I really did not like is that they murked the dog. So that's a warning for any of you out here. They do in fact blast a dog off the earth.
A dog in the face with a musket.
But none of them
are
particularly happy about it, at least. No, so that's pretty good. But yeah,
it's also in the original story.
And as soon as I do appreciate that the eldest brother, I think that's his role in the family.
Yeah, Igor.
Yeah, Igor, the one who's also like a brutish conqueror guy. When they find him at the edge of the property, which they somehow missed for days.
This whole time. He's in a heap by the trees. I get it.
I notice a heap anywhere. You put me somewhere, I'll point out at least 6 heaps.
I've lost many a jacket. I get it.
Okay, that's fair. But when he walks up and he's a shambling corpse, and he was like, Daddy! That was a little much. That was a little much.
I do like the whole family was just like, He was like, shut up, that's my dad. And they're like, yeah but.
Because the legend is because he goes out to fight the Vourdalak, and if he doesn't return before sundown on the 3rd night or whatever, then he has become the Vourdalak.
I thought it was that he was going out to fight the Turks, and that if I die,
that's what I thought he was like.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I think
he brings back the beheaded.
That's right.
Warlord guy. Yeah, I think the letter was to the effect of like, you guys are pussies. I'm gonna go fight the Turks because somebody's got to wear the goddamn pants around here. And if I don't come back within 6 days and you see me, I'm a friggin' Vourdalak.
I'm a fucking vampire.
I guess I thought the Turk must also be a Vourdalak.
Also be a Vourdalak. I don't know.
How do you know that you're going to become a Vourdalak otherwise?
Yeah, that's a good point. He definitely lays that down in the letter or the thing he tells his daughter. No, wait. It's his daughter.
Maybe he was going to fight Vlad Dracula.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think the timelines add up.
I like the fact that he comes in right at sunset on the last day, and so you're kind of like, did he make it in time or not? And it becomes quickly
very clear. I don't think you made it, Dad.
Yeah, hell no. There was no question in my mind. Are you kidding? They point out that heap on the ground. I was like, no, burn him. It's no fucking good.
Yeah, when it starts breathing, I was like, and that's my cue.
Yep.
Fire.
Yeah, I'm going back
off
to the
cliff
to eat some friggin' cordon bleu and Dijon or whatever.
I do love how much you kind of don't dig on Jacques, but like halfway through it, you're kind of like, yeah, I kind of wish I was at the court right now. This place sucks.
Yeah, I do like that as soon as he, stops wearing the powdered face, he loses the wig, he becomes like a person and is like, man, I love this witchy broad.
Yep.
And I gotta, Svedka.
What
a name.
Svedka.
That's the name of a woman that'll beat your ass. I tell you that right now.
And I just found out that actress, Ariana Laboud, is married to Yorgos Lanthimos, the guy who directed like The Favorite. Yep.
So what? Mandy, friggin' Mandy.
No, that's different. That's
no. That's the other name.
Cosmatos.
That's Cosmatos.
Am I Greek racist?
Yeah, a little bit. No. Hear me out. We've gotten two kick-ass director names in the last 10 years.
True.
You got Panos Cosmatos and Yorgos Lanthimos, both making kick-ass.
I heard too many Amoses and just thought of Mandy and Beyond the Black Rainbow.
You're like, let me light something on fire.
It's getting very cultural in here, and I'm just saying. It's easy to
I am but an American.
Both names sound like Mad Libs. I'm not. No, just no disrespect.
Anyway, back to Zdenka.
Oh yeah, she was awesome. I like that she just clowned on him the whole friggin' time. And he does this little. He does this little foxtrot, whatever the hell they call it. And she's like
Lindy Hop or whatever the fuck.
And she's like, don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do that. And then you see her doing it, which I thought was kind of sweet. And then she catches him peeping on her where you're like, dude, be cool.
Friggin' pervert. That was like, and
he was on her so hard. He's like, I'm a nobleman. I can do that. And she's like, not here. Not where there's
vampires. He wasn't even trying to like hide that he was perving. He was out in the open with binoculars.
Yeah, he openly sucks at the beginning. That's why I kind of like what
because he's a nobleman. That's right.
Because he doesn't give a shit about the peasantry. You can do whatever he wants.
It's great character writing, but I hated his fucking.
I also love that scene where he's freaked out and he's crying, and you kind of feel bad because you're like, oh, he's a privileged little weirdo.
Yep.
No, you kind of feel bad for the guy. He's never been out of the AC before, so he doesn't know what to do with all this weather and allergies. Like, come in, little guy. Let me teach you what to do.
Tough shit, Buttercup. You better learn.
You're not wrong. He does learn. He doesn't get to go home and tell people.
And it's even a modern horror movie because it ends with a house on fire.
Yep,
right.
Like you do.
I have this theory that if you're making a horror movie past the year 2020, post Hereditary, basically.
Yep.
Then we're all living in the PH timeline.
Yeah. You have to light someone or something.
Yeah.
Fully ablaze.
Fire cleanses, baby. Cleansing. I was so happy to see him light shit on fire. I was like, there we go.
Well, and it was
Call that a day.
It was like Chekhov's arson because she's like, she's like, well, you have to eat. You can immobilize him by putting a stake through his heart, but you got to burn his house down.
Right. So many interesting rules because we haven't talked about that the vampire rules are all over the place.
Oh, man.
Movies. Yeah. Because like Ganja Hess, there are no rules.
They're out in the daylight.
Habit, not really any rules. Just don't get involved. You have to invite her in, though. That was very apparent. You have to invite her in.
It was also bullshit that she wouldn't go into his house when he was cooking garlic.
Right.
And then he smears a bunch of garlic all over the place and she don't care anymore. I'm done.
She doesn't care.
I'm done.
You got
she doesn't come in through the window.
But he put it on the door too, right?
Salem's Lot rules, Fright Night rules. Interesting.
Yep. You just break the goddamn rules when you need to.
Like a true fairy tale, they lay out the rules for you, and they follow those rules very well. Like, this is what the Vourdalak does. This is how you have to kill the Vourdalak. You can't stake it through the heart and kill it. It just keeps it from moving because you can't kill it. The only way to do it is fire. I was like, yeah, there we go, because now I know what's going to happen. And I love that it was our boy Jacques that does it, because, like, he sucks and then he doesn't suck. And I love that, like, the general vibe, like the little fairy tale moment is that, like, because they're like these gross monsters, they have to chew on their own like clothes to like, because they're like oozing out of their face. So they have to keep chewing on. So like every now and then there was just like these like crunchy cloth noises. And I was like, well, that's not something I've heard before, nor do I ever want to hear it again. So yeah, that was another thing that they do that I enjoyed.
It made me self-conscious about my sleeve chewing. I gotta say.
Maybe you've got some Vourdalak in you. Wouldn't be shocked.
Oh yeah, I'm a quarter Vourdalak on my grandfather's side or something.
Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
I also thought the music was really good. And I think the music is great for all of these movies.
Yeah,
and they're all very distinctive and different. When we talk about El Conde, I'm going to just go nuts because that score is incredible.
Awesome.
But yeah,
look, like if you're looking for a vampire movie that is different, that you've never really seen before, unless you've seen that one that Doc was talking about, then definitely check out Vourdalak on that one, because it's going to give you your vampire fix, and it's going to give you your like Robert Eggers weird colonial, like frontier colonial medieval vibe. It's all
period piece.
Period piece. That's the word I'm looking for.
And the Vourdalak even Dragon Ball punches Jacques Lecouf into a tree.
It's my second favorite moment in the movie when he just like side swipes him really slow, marionette style.
It's the chillest little punch, and then he
just
fully
like
Goku's all the way back.
Flies back in slow motion. I was like, oh damn, this is not going to go well for anyone. That
for
frail
those
little ET looking puppet's going to kick everybody's ass.
For those who are fans of the Bava Black Sabbath, I highly recommend seeing this one because it's just an opportunity to see that story told in a different way.
In a modern lens.
Yeah. Let's jump ahead to our final film, El Conde. And Chad, you had seen this one before, and this was a recommendation.
That was in my 24 Tales of Terror, I believe. Follow me on Letterboxd. And it just was another one of those things. It popped up on my like, hey man, here's a movie you would dig. It's on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix movie.
The vibe of this one is so. I just like within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm gonna love this movie, and I just loved it for 2 hours.
It was very like Wes Anderson-y to me.
Yeah, it's like Wes Anderson meets Eyes of My Mother with vampires and political commentary.
Well, I'm gonna just
that floats all the boats.
It is written and directed by Pablo Larraín. But our key player here is our director of photography, Edward Lockman.
Man.
And he's our cinematographer. And I'm just going to rattle off a few of his credits because I was like, who is this guy? And then you're like, oh, you're that guy.
Yeah, he's that
he
guy.
did Far From Heaven, Aaron Brockovich, The Limey, Mi Familia, Light Sleeper, Less Than Zero, True Stories, Lords of Flatbush. He directed Madonna's Into the Groove music video. And Carmen Electra's aerobic striptease.
I can't open my jaw any wider.
That's incredible. I didn't know about that one.
He's worked with Steven Soderbergh. He's worked with Todd Haynes. He's worked with Paul Schrader. He's worked with Jonathan Demme. I'm like, this guy's friggin' amazing. And I don't know where he's been. Like, I don't know why I didn't recognize his name in the credits. But dear God in heaven, he's so great here. And he's just one thing that's great about this movie. Like, the movie itself is fantastic, but he gives it that wonderful atmosphere.
It was nominated for best cinematography, this movie.
Is that right?
And yeah, it was
well earned, I would say.
Rightly so.
Yeah, in short, when you said who is this guy, he's him, basically.
Yeah, no, he is awesomely him. But anyway, yes, Chad, tell us a little bit about what this movie is.
El Conde, which means the Count. It's a Chilean movie, and it's about the Chilean dictator Pinochet, and it's just like about what happened after his reign, and it's all like based in fact, except for one detail. He was actually a 250-year-old vampire, and then it just goes from there. Named Pinochet. But like you're just on the ride after that. You're like, it tells you like, here's the story about Pinochet. You know what's going on. If you know, you know. If you've read your history. Oh, by the way, side story, subplot, he's a vampire. And then you're just on the ride after that. And it's like he's like in hiding because the revolution has happened.
So good.
And he's just like stuck with his shitty family that doesn't like him because he's a piece of shit. but he's also like this immortal vampire, and he's kind of like, oh, women, am I right? And you're like,
what
oh,
a pain.
God, what a pain.
And he's super rich like every other vampire, so he's got the funds, and that's why his crappy family's hanging around, because they want him to die and they want his money.
But he can't die because he's immortal, and then political commentary ensues.
Yeah,
Margaret Thatcher is in this movie.
Was fucking crazy, by the way. They did that close up on her when she's flying through the fucking sky.
Oh man, the flying.
Give it to me.
Anyway, continue with your Thatcher thing, and then we'll talk about flying.
Yep.
I saw the face and the hairdo, and was like, And then I noticed the brooch. I was like, "There's no fucking way that's Margaret Thatcher." And then she walks in the room. Oh, hello, Margaret. Shut up! Shut up!
I love how elegant all of these people, like any vampire, they can take flight, and it's just gorgeous.
I gotta
so pretty.
When we get further into the movie, I have a separate point about the flight that
let's just get into it now.
Okay, so. Man, there's a lot of yada yada because we haven't talked about all this stuff in the movie. But basically, he's like, okay, I'm sick. I'm done. I want to die. So they get. I'm not entirely clear on how this all transpires, but they like invite an exorcist. Am I following this right? Yep. Yeah. So they invite this exorcist to come out.
Also an accountant.
Yeah, but don't worry about the accountant part.
By the way, in case you at home are curious, this movie is funny. Like it's supposed to be super funny.
Very, very fun. Man, they knock it out of the park in Chile.
The jokes are so good in this movie.
Do you guys know 31 Minutos?
Not personally.
No.
It's a wonderful Chilean puppet show. It's great.
Oh, no, I've never heard of it.
I'll send you some clips. They just did a Tiny Desk concert, and it was awesome.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Carmenita is our accountant exorcist.
Yeah, right. So she gets invited by the family, and the church sends her out because he's like, oh, you can exorcise the evil out of me, and then I can die fine and normal and good. And she gets out there, and she's like playing this long game for the church where they're trying to like find proof of all this like dark money that he had been stealing.
Because they want that dark money.
Yeah, because Catholics love dark money. That's the thing.
Is there any other kind?
Yeah. So there's like this crazy Machiavellian thing throughout the whole movie. Like everybody's got like Dune-esque layers on layers of plans and machinations. And backstabbery. But she gets out there and she ends up sort of like seducing Pinochet, and they bang in a barn, and she convinces him.
Well, it's a vampire story. There's going to be sex.
Yeah, you're going to have it. And she convinces him to bite her and like make her a vampire. And then like this, but she like takes flight immediately after. She runs out the door and flies across the property. And that scene was beautiful.
Yes.
So pretty.
She flies poorly at first.
Yeah, but it's like,
well, you got to give her a minute.
I did,
and I took it since I was watching this for the first time and didn't know how it was going to end. I took it as this like statement about like her freedom or whatever. Like she's freed from the shackles of Catholicism, because they make that point about how like she would have been some kind of crazy math whiz if God hadn't stolen her heart or whatever. There's some great narration in this film, by the way.
So pretty.
But
much of it by Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher, yeah. But so I took it as this like wonderful painterly thing about her, like, you know, freeing herself from these chains and becoming, you know, herself fully. And that's not what it is. That's not what happens at all.
Here's a fun fact that I just learned because I was Googling while you were talking about this. The special effects coordinator was Bernadita Pinochet.
Right.
I wonder if she is of the Pinochets. Yeah, I wonder. Because I was just looking through the IMDb thing while we were talking about
there's a whole slew of VFX artists, so I wasn't sure, but yeah, it's so great. And the music.
Yeah, hey Google, how common of a last name is Pinochet in Chile?
Google's like, well, that's my last name, Lucy.
Yep. And there's that. I mentioned it earlier, but I mean, the music is just this beautiful classical that just underscores everything, and again, just sets this mood of like it transports you to an older time. And the black and it's kind of sepia toned photography.
It's like black, white, and silver.
Yeah, I would say like grayscale almost.
Yeah, grayscale. It's like the Chrome edition of Fury Road, or like
Edward Lockman. I love you. Well done.
Yeah. Oh God. Damn,
it was beautiful, and I felt like that color choice was like great for this movie.
And all the performances are just
it's like
so
top-notch.
great. So
all the kids are so shitty, and I wanted to punch every single one of them. Well, but that's the idea, you know.
The guy who played his servant, Fedor.
Oh, Krasnov, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like I love that relationship, and I had those moments like, wait, who's who? Like they both have mustaches, they're both older, and then you find out he's actually impersonating the Count and going out and hunting and getting hearts for him. Oh, so
I also liked when the one daughter, because it feels like they're all trying to play it cool about the vampire thing with the nun at first, and when she's like, well, how did the devil get into my father? And she's like, well, you know, it could be wounds on a battlefield or the anus when one commits sodomy. And then she's like, my father would never. And then he like gets on Krasnov later in the movie, and he's like, oh, the way you would. He didn't say this, but what I heard was the way you were barking like a fucking dog when I turned you, you know?
There's so like it has. Okay, to put on my like college hat, my collegiate bird hat, it's Chekhovian. It's got a Chekhovian vibe where it's a little like we're laughing at these like miserable wealthy people just being miserable and pointless. A little bit of Saltburn in there, and then a little bit of like the Royal Tannenbaum's Wes Anderson in there.
Whoa, yeah.
It's just got all of those fun things where you're like, let's laugh at the miserable rich.
Yeah, no matter how much money you got, you ain't got shit.
You ain't got shit. You guys suck. Your house is dumb. Your friends are idiots. Your dad's a vampire. It's all bad. And also, surprisingly, very gory. Like the gore in this movie was like exceptionally well done. The black and white makes it worse for some reason.
I appreciate all the decapitations. They were all really good.
Squelchy, very squelchy.
A thing I noted about the score, where you talked about how the classical music sort of transports you. I also thought it, how do I want to say it? I thought it served like the main sort of underlying narrative, where they're in this ostensibly a manor, like, you know, this wonderful house, but everything's in fucking disrepair. It's totally shitty, and they're not like they're rich, sure, but like they're rich on pilfered gains, and nobody knows quite how rich they really are. Like it's all a little fake. Right. So that like a very elegant classical soundtrack going on behind it, I felt like
it's ironic.
Sort of,
I think that actually is ironic.
It's the way when you want to seem cool and cultured, you put on a jazz record, even if you don't really know the first thing about jazz, you know? And that's how I felt about the classical music. Yeah, it's like it's the illusion of being cultured.
Yep. Right. Yep. Well, and that's just it. Like they're all not rich enough either. Like they have debts that far outweigh whatever money they have, because that's how
and they're all getting hunted because they're all fascists and they're getting knocked down.
Yep.
Just saying, death to fascists.
It felt a little like I was watching a documentary about a current prominent family.
Wouldn't know what you're talking about at all. Death to tyrants.
I did like Lucy when you texted and said, you know, that it makes you the movie helps you feel smart. You're like, if you know who Pinochet is, if you know who Margaret Thatcher is, you get the jokes, and you're like, I'm smart because I know my history.
See, what you don't know, listeners and watchers, is that the doc is being very generous to me right now. What I said to him was, wow, I'm stupid. I didn't realize it was Pinochet.
Yeah, I was on the text chain. Can confirm.
I thought you also said, and I also felt smart.
Oh, well, if that's what you read, I'll take it.
Take the win, man.
But yes, these were just four awesome movies, different, engaging, and each one of them has its own flavor. All
of them vampire films, which never get put up on a list.
And we totally
Dusk
lucked
Till
out.
Dawn, Near Dark, Sinners. Like we at once,
and it really was a group effort in terms of people like contributing. Like I Ganja Hess, I was like, that's a great call, and we can do. But when I was watching Vourdalak, that's when I went, oh man, this is going to be the artsy fartsiest panel ever.
It wasn't until this morning that I sat down and thought, I've watched 8 hours of vampire films in the last 3 days.
You just had a college education. That's what that feels like. You just went to art school.
Nice.
So I need something very stupid to put into my brain to counteract it.
We'll have to talk about what we're going to talk about next month because I want to get one more show in. I do want to.
Transylvania 65000. Put that one in your brain pan.
Oh,
That's
God,
dumb as
no.
hell.
Why are you doing that?
Jeff Goldblum is in that movie.
And Ed
Gina
Begley
Davis.
Jr.
And Ed Begley Jr.
Jeff Goldblum in Transylvania 65000. Wow. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Oh.
Vampires, yes.
That last little bit of Jeff Goldblum, I think, is going to be our tag. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now everyone can know how bad my Jeff Goldblum is.